Where's the Rumble stream?
It's already up. And if it isn't, too bad. That's what I say to that. That's what I say to that, chat. Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another Bunchcast. Today we'll be talking about a couple of things. The first thing, and the most important thing, and the only thing that really matters in today's topics, is Stop Killing Games, a movement of preservationists that are dedicated to preserving all video games. Well, sorta, kinda. More like it's tackling the issues with MMOs and live service games. What happens when the server goes unplugged, right? Take Helldivers 2, for instance, or Dune Awakening, two recent games that we're addicted to that are live service games. What happens when they're old, and what happens when they're not profitable? The company pulls the plug on the server, and everything powers down. Then what? That's what I thought. Nothing. Silence.
Gone.
It's gone forever. It's never coming back, and that's not a good thing. So, what is Stop Killing Games, and how does Stop Killing Games intend to really do anything? Well, it's not really going to help us, and I really doubt it's actually going to do anything, but the big thing is why it's important and why you should consider signing it if you're in the EU or the UK, is because it will bring it to the attention of the general public, and bringing an issue like this to the general public's attention could potentially maybe see positive changes. I don't expect the government to step in and do anything, and I hope they don't. But what I do hope to see is a vast shift in the industry itself, and perhaps even in other companies, to do something about it, to actually have a, what we call a sunset policy. A policy for when games are set out, beyond the sunset, that there's something they can do. What does preservationist mean? What does a preservationist mean? That's a good question, Blake. A preservationist, or the idea of preservation, right, is the idea of preserving games, right? So what happens when a game dies? What happened to Warhammer Age of Reckoning? You guys know? After EA shut down the servers? It did die.
They opened it for private.
But it didn't really die, did it? It's still here. It's right here, chat. Ta-da! What the fuck? Yeah, that's
Also,
right.
Yeah.
What?
Hennis, that's correct. You need to put on clothes.
Well, these things happen from time to time. Don't worry about it. That was just our late night stream. No, chat. Behold, Age of Reckoning is a game that still exists and can be played today. Mayor drums. Let's just mute that. But yeah, here's the trailer for it. And so EA, Electronic Arts, basically looks the other way and turns a blind eye when these sort of games go down. EA's done this for a number of games. It's not the first time they've done it, and it's not the last time they've done it. They haven't done it for everything they've done or owned, but they have done it for some things, which I find interesting. Remember, Electronic Arts, while they are not a particularly well-known company for being good, they have done things in the past that are good, and that is mostly extenuating to the factor that not everybody inside of a company is actually just, a soulless, evil, corporate, person who doesn't care about their games. Many of the people that worked for and still do work for EA do care about games and are incredibly passionate. Unpopular opinion, I know, but it's true. And the reason why Age of Reckoning survived, and the reason why Command & Conquer got a remaster, and the reason why Command & Conquer's source code got released officially by EA, was because there were people within Electronic Arts that do care. And that's important to note, and that is something that's worth commendation. Games should be preserved. And I think we can all agree on this, because games are a part of our culture. They're a part of our history, a part of our legacy. It's what we will leave behind for lessons to be learned for the next generations. The good, the bad, and the ugly. Whether a game is good, whether a game is bad or good, it doesn't matter. It should all be preserved. It's all worth preservation. No matter how bad they are, or good. But yes, video game preservation is a core issue, and a key issue in gaming that needs to be discussed. And there are games that are still preserved, and still operational, and still functional today. But there are many games that aren't anymore, and that are having their servers pulled down, and have no server tools or anything to work with. Now, this is a controversial opinion, right? How do you preserve a game? Do you make the publisher forcibly release the source code and the server tools and all that? Can you do that? Is that legal? If you can push them to do that? Or should it be encouraged? Should there be a compromise made, perhaps? Because there have been compromises throughout the industry as a whole since its beginning, since its inception. Look no further than Night Dive Studios for one such compromise. Night Dive Studios is a video game development studio dedicated to video game preservation and uplifting. Now, I'm going to say a word that you're going to have a violent reaction to. It's going to be the word modern audience, or modern game design, or modernity.
Gilkis.
These words are good words with a capital G. However, it's important to remember that these words have been perverted. We must reclaim such perversions. A recent game, and a game we're going to be streaming later. What do you want from me?
I say, how about instead of modern audience, modern hardware?
That doesn't make any sense. It's software.
Well, it's making it work on modern hardware.
That's true. That is true. Night Dive Studios, let's take a look at their country. Yeah, let's look at the country where they are occupied and geopolitically and geographically. Blech. So,
let's break them down there.
They've basically done nothing but uplifting games to be played in the modern era. The Thing Remastered, System Shock 2 Anniversary, which is a remaster, Killing Time. I've never played PO'd. I don't have an opinion on that. Dark Forces, which I have played. The Turok games, Rise of the Triad, a remake of after they did a uplifting. They did System Shock Enhanced to make it playable on modern systems. Then they remastered it for modern audiences. Now, I know what you're thinking, Kibbs. That sounds absolutely terrible. But a modern audience doesn't necessarily mean that they made all the characters trans and all that crap. What it actually means, and what it should mean, is that, well, it's now actually, a game that you could conceivably play nowadays because its control schemes and designs take lessons from modern game design, which, again, is a word that's been perverted, that needs to be reclaimed because it's not a bad word. It's like the word diverse, right? Diverse amount of enemy types, or a diverse choice of flavors. The word diverse, it didn't do nothing wrong. It just got raped a little bit. Happens from time to time.
Diverse flavors.
Diverse.
Dark meat.
That's not what I was going for, but you never know. Welcome to Stream Chatfishes. Welcome to the argumentation for and favor of video game preservation and the solutions therein. The topic is really simple, in my opinion. Do you want Chatfishes, your video games, to be experienced even today? Here's a game that I love to play. It's from 2001. It's called Emperor Battle for Doom. I played it a lot as a kid on my little laptop. This game is awesome. Le Bataille pour Doom from French. Oh my god, help me. Schlock them Doom. Cursed. But yeah, there are other ways and other types of preservation. Some are volunteer, some are more extensive than others. My Abandonware represents a website in which abandoned games are put up to, right? These are usually single-player games. Funnily enough, the advertisement that supports this website is a live service game called Enlisted, which is a first-person shooter developed by the Gaijin Entertainment Company for basically their, shooter game. What happens when their game goes down? What happens to Enlisted? What happens to all that progress, all that content, all that gameplay, all those things you bought? They're gone. You don't keep them.
Yep.
What happened when that's not my account. I'm on my dad's Xbox Live account when I had a 360 when I was a little kid. What happens to all those Xbox Live games I owned when they pulled down the 360 services? The 360's Xbox Live service got pulled. I can plug my Xbox 360 into a Cat 5 and it'll try to connect to a network that doesn't exist anymore. Doesn't exist. It doesn't function.
Can't download your games anymore.
All the DLC, all those expansions, map packs, and all those little indie games I bought are now gone forever. And I had to buy them all again. It's terrible. There's no way to preserve these things.
Nintendo's been this way with all their handhelds ever since they were created.
Oh yeah, no,
That's
there's
true.
a fucking quagmire. If you're even if you own like an actual copy of it, it's like no, you have to prove that you own the actual physical cassette thing.
Yes, it's also for the Nintendo handhelds, it's tied to the console itself. There's not an account system, so
Yes, and this is why video game preservation is such an important thing. You should be able to play this game, Emperor Battle for Doom. I love this game. It's quirky, it's not very good, but it's got its problems. But it's still fun. It still has good things about it. It's got campy cutscenes and things in it. It's art, and it should be preserved. There's music, there's acting, there's so much in it. And it's worth preserving. And even if it didn't have those things, even if it was just Pong, it's worth preserving because its code is art. It truly is. Crafted by human hands. Can you believe that? Weird.
Needless.
What?
It wants people to check out Skylords Reborn, which I believe was another MMO that actually
Yes, I already
was
have it
taken
open.
down.
Skylords Reborn isn't called Skylords Reborn. It's actually a game called Battleforge, made by EA Electronic Arts. It's a fun little card RTS game where you can play cards and it summons units and stuff like that, and there's different like decks you can build, etc., etc. Well, EA again did the right thing. I know. EA keeps doing the right thing, and it's just not gonna. It's never not gonna be weird.
We are in a twisted timeline.
It's never not going to be weird when they do it. But this is because a department or a person inside EA was passionate about preserving this game, and simply when they basically recreated it, they're like, yeah, you can do that, but you need to like change the name for legal reasons. And then they did. They renamed it Skylords Reborn. And you can now play this old MMO that was built in the age of Bloom, because holy crap, when I look at it, its Bloom is like...
Michael Bay smiles upon thee.
Oh, my eyes. But
There's
yeah,
not enough explosions.
this is another game that would have been lost had EA not intervened. Or, well, had the community not intervened and had EA not been willing to compromise. This is why I'm a big believer in compromises. We can compromise. There is cases of this happening, and we can make this work. They just need to be talkative and responsive. We need to pressure publishers and companies to release these things. And we can come to an equitable and fair compromise and agreement. There are many compromises. I even have solutions I've already thought up that aren't perfect by any stretch of the imagination and would need revision or improvement, but the sky's the limit. We don't need the government to help us. In fact, we shouldn't. If you see, I'm with the government, I'm here to help, burst through the door, the games industry's fucked. Your video games are about to get really shit. Because look at how that worked for Germany.
That's all the room they need, because then they can wiggle in anywhere else.
Yeah, once they get their foot in the door, they're not leaving. And so anytime you give an inch to a government organization is the minute the games you love and hold dear will begin to lose freedom, right? That's too offensive. You can't have that in that game. That's banned. That's a banned game. Australia, Germany, many other such nations banning games outright because it's too offensive. Case in example, Command & Conquer Generals being heavily censored, almost disgustingly so, when it was released in like in Germany, to the point where it was like just robots and crap instead of like troops. And when people would get run over by tanks, it wouldn't make crushing sounds. It would make pop can crumple sounds.
Yeah, no, we had Fairman tell us about, it's like, here's all the changes in the German version.
This is why it's so incredibly important to preserve these games. Bunoshi actually points out even the Facebook games are also lost. Yes, browser games, Facebook games, some of them were actually good.
The old Flash games.
Yeah, the majority of games that were Flash.
Mobile games that are lost to the wind. This also happens to them as well. This is not a unique issue just for MMOs. Live service games are definitely the most at risk, but anything that requires an online connection is. And so something must be done in order to preserve them. And I think the best thing that we can do is we could establish a foundation, right? Night Dive Studios is proof of such foundations being able to be created, bringing lost and forgotten game treasures back from the depths. That's their whole name. Their whole logo is about resurrecting old treasures from the buried deep and bringing them back. Not only making it so they're playable, but then even if they're popular enough, adding modern features and mechanics, and also improvements and fixes and bug fixes for old games that have been long since abandoned, which is a really nice thing to see. Like, really nice to see.
There's also the GOG preservation program.
That's true.
The left.
GOG preservation program, yes. Another one.
Which literally allows people the community to request and vote on games for them to work on to bring back.
Yep, I've already voted on several games. Black and White, several others. Emperor Battle for Dune, Battle for Middle-earth. There's so many games that really, really need it. And movie license games are one of the biggest ones that suffer from this.
Oh, they're the worst offenders.
Movie license games need help. There's many great ones that are lost.
Night Dive and GOG are perfect examples of ways the industry itself can solve this issue with enough support. The government does not need to be involved and will just muck things up.
Yes. I think it is important to pressure this. The movement Stop Killing Games is a very good movement, and it's very important that this succeeds, but I hope the government ultimately doesn't do anything about it. The reason why is because it's good for the general population to be aware so that we do something about it. So people complain loudly. You get what you want when you complain. Star Wars Battlefront 2 EA. Does anybody remember that? I do. It's actually a good game, buried in horrible design decisions. The thing is, Star Wars Battlefront EA 2, I hate that name. I'm going to commit kibicide just thinking about it, is a good game. It's got fun missions and, well, no, the campaign sucks. But the co-op mode and the multiplayer battles were really fun to play with friends. It was a fun time, a fun romp. And it was plagued by microtransactions and gacha bullshit. Literally had gacha mechanics in the game where you had to buy things and then unlock things, right? For like RNG chances. The community was so mad about this that they cried out with rage. And when they did, they gutted those features. If you're loud, if you're vocal enough, if you are consistent and you don't give up, not everything will be changed, but there's a good chance something will be. It's why everything is worth fighting for. It's why it's imperative that you never give up, that you keep fighting, because if you do, you can get those things. Star Wars Battlefront 2 EA may never have been finished into the dream game it should have been. It may never reach that greatness. But it is a game that became good because of the consumers. Because the consumers didn't back down. They refused to give up on it. On the end, even the team didn't give up on it. The team kept fighting to make sure the game was getting better and better for you. And in the end, the people who gave up on it was the suits, the corporate execs. They backed out. They left. They abandoned it because it wasn't the cash cow they wanted it to be. But the developers, they saw that you cared. They witnessed it. And you emboldened them. You made them fight harder because you didn't give up on them. That's something that you got to remember. That people inside development teams do care. If you can just reach them. Remember, the part what makes humanity such a great species is that we work together. And if we reach for each other and actually are able to clasp each other, we can achieve great things. It's true, chat. It's all about unity.
That's a cursed word now.
I know, that's why I enjoyed it. I did try to vote for it, but the EU initiative does not accept my validation. Oh, no. That's
What's
not good.
that?
You could try a different browser.
The
Maybe, I don't know.
the European
Yeah,
Union
unironically-
bureaucracy doesn't work.
Yeah, so
And,
that's not surprising.
Unironically, sometimes it is literally that dumb where that browser, for whatever reason, just doesn't work.
But yeah, this is why it's so imperative that this movement is a success. I just hope the government doesn't do anything. But I hope the
It's a success
industry
to
does.
raise awareness, not
Yes.
so much success and the government
Here's-
steps in.
Yeah, no,
I'm not
here's
part of the EU,
thing.
but I do encourage you to sign it. If you are. If you can
Even if
spare
the
time.
government doesn't do anything, game companies will see this, and it is additional pressure on the companies themselves to have better sunset policies than get fucked.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. The big thing is, so long as we all make a motion for it, because I've been a video game preservationist forever, ever since I was a little kid. So much so that I would hide the cardboard boxes of the video games that my parents would get for me underneath my bed so they wouldn't throw them in the garbage. They eventually found them, and they did. And I was devastated.
They burned them in front of you.
I was devastated. I saw them in the trash can, and I tried getting some of them out. But eventually, over time, they just kept getting thrown in there. Because those cardboard boxes are part of the game. I know it's a weird obsession, but it's still important. And that was the moment when I knew I wanted to protect video games. Because how dare you throw them away? How dare you throw
Kid
them
was
away?
proving he was a hoarder even as a child.
That's not hoarding. That's a very precious commodity. And it's a piece of art. Not every video game comes in a cardboard box, especially the
It's
cases.
similar, like if you have one of those cardboard cutouts from like the prequel eras in Star Wars. Like, at the time, people were like, "Oh, this is like just destroyed them." But the people that still have those cutouts now, it's like, holy shit, that is like Star Wars history. It's not video game, but it's a similar idea.
Yep, because the boxes, if it's something that's actually special, then the box is also special. It has value because it contains goodness in it and outside of it. True.
Also, when Kibbs gets upset or slightly irked, you can't take him seriously because he's chibi.
Chat wanted this. Chat gets what they want. You paid for it, chat. Now you must live with it. Now let's see. Grumpy Rat is back from the brink of rat spare. He crawls out of his little rat cage. He says, "Hey everyone," waving with you with his small, tiny fin. He says, hashtag rapier's choose. Hashtag SF. Ah, because of course you had to throw hashtag SF on there. I see. Everybody's got to do it. Everybody's got
Listen,
to
chat has to literally clothe you. It's fine.
Yeah, like a Barbie doll. Literally.
Also, my choice is to go to the Killzone era.
Well, that's a $5 for the new model outfit. Very good, chat. Now we can look like a war criminal. As we should. Don't get me wrong. The EU has power.
Welcome to the stream,
Power
Captain
of
K.
stowing, says Dermot. Yeah, that's why I don't want the government to do anything, because I don't want the government to be involved. As an independent developer for a small little indie game company called Bad Damage Studios, I'm very much concerned that if they get involved, they're going to introduce regulation that large corporations can jump over, but little companies can't. Like, we scrape the bottom of the barrel every week and every month. And I'm not worried about this particular issue, but I'm worried about what we call the proverbial foot in the door issue. Once it's in, it's too late.
And
But
then
that's
they'll
why the
say,
industry
well,
needs to
by the
correct itself.
mandate that brought us here in the first place, we will therefore take logical steps from that into other things.
Yep. See, it's not going to affect indies, this stop killing game things for the most part. It just means that you're going to have to, like, be encouraged to protect your game or make it so that future generations can enjoy it. There's nothing wrong with that. That's a very good place. In fact, I 100% agree with this, and I hope it succeeds in essence. But I hope that it succeeds because the industry does the right thing, like they did before. They just need to do the right thing one more time. And then again, after that. And then again, after that. Consumers are just tired of no longer owning what they bought. That's more than fair and more than respectable. I, too,
That's a
respect
major
that.
problem, not just...
Oh, we had an
video
entire
games.
discussion.
It's not just
about
video
that
games,
last night.
movies too, and TV shows.
Where
Not
you
owning
just-
what you buy, not being able to repair
Software,
what you buy.
work things. Clip Studio.
right to repair is another big thing.
Clip Studio, the software I use, that my art team used this software to draw. They tried to switch to a subscription model not that long ago.
Yeah.
And it received massive backlash because the reason why I like Clip Studio is because I edit my thumbnails together in it. But my art team draws all our art with this, and it's a very powerful tool. It's basically just a Photoshop program that's a lot more robust for art people, but it can be used for other things too. Because I
It's
use
a lot
it
more
all the time.
refined.
It's very useful.
It's a lot more refined for that particular subset of the community.
Yes, and the big thing here is that subscription model is dangerous because, well, now you don't own it. Now, because the
it's not
backlash,
even-
they changed it, but yeah.
It's not even just that. They also have a currency system that you have to use to buy add-ons for the program that people make.
That's like the Bethesda store. You don't have to use those. If you're talking about this. Well, the thing I use is I download brushes, custom brushes and stuff like that from like people that just release them. There's websites
Yes,
for that.
that's what they were making, trying to make it. You have to pay now to download these brushes.
If only CSP Pro version didn't limit you to 15 frames when animating. Yeah, I can't talk about the animation side of it because I don't really use it for animating at all. In fact, I don't think I've ever used the animation tool, or maybe I have. I've only
Also, on the
animated an
stream, Red
sprite,
Power Maximo.
and I haven't animated in
Twitch.
a long time. And honestly, animation is not something I want to ever do again. It's nightmarish. All right, let's see. I tried free animating just to see if that would work out. That didn't. I made a nice sketch, and then I absolutely obliterated it in 2 frames. Absolutely obliterated.
But Polly, what were those tags? You have money.
Polydonk's $5 and says, there are no laws against people drinking and alcohol commercials. It's a gentleman's agreement among the companies to avoid government interference.
Yep.
Yep. That's why.
Unironically, I actually remember a beer commercial that was even making fun of that, where a guy's about to take a sip, and the guy in the crowd's like, "Whoa, hold on! Did you know you're not supposed to take a drink for the first 15 seconds of an ad?" And he's like, "What?" And then that was the ad.
That's good. I hate it.
I forget which beer company it was, but the ad itself was funny.
So yes, there are many initiatives to help with stopping the murder of video games. But this one is more so specifically allocated to more or less dealing with live service games, a la Helldivers 2 or World of Warcraft, or basically anything that requires an online connection.
Anything that it requires or has a internet connection component.
Yes, because what Helldivers 2 should do, if it goes down, is make a offline client. What?
Polly's saying to read his previous super chat.
What? Did I just read it?
The one before it.
There's another one. He donates $5 and says, let's also not forget that games are also forced to update and remove things when licenses expire. Hashtag skirt, hashtag men of terrestrial, hashtag sandwich.
Yep.
Thank you for your donation.
One that I can think off the top of my head is GTA had certain songs on the radio or different radio stations that were actually licensed. And when those licenses expired, they had to patch the game to remove those songs.
Yeah, that's
Yet
terrible.
They were in there at the start of the game.
Yep. There needs to be such licenses or that are basically unending, in my opinion. It should be like a permanent license. And these are the licenses those kinds of companies should negotiate. For example, Helldivers 2 in more recent memory had a crossover event with Killzone from Guerrilla Games, another company underneath Sony's umbrella. And they did some Killzone stuff, having Helgen armors and stuff like that and weapons, but now it's gone. Nobody else can have it anymore because it's limited time access. That's not good.
So if you didn't get it, tough luck.
Yep, that's not good at all. It's very important that we must make sure that these kinds of things stay back because, well, what about you guys? You guys don't get it. What if Gregors didn't buy Helldivers 2? Oh, Greg, like, check out this new Helldivers 2 Helgen armors. Oh my gosh, so awesome. He looks at his wallet, little butterfly comes out like, okay, well, next paycheck, I'll go pick up the game and then I'll go get it. So I can be a Helgen in Helldivers 2, right? Well, come next paycheck period, what happens? He opens the game up, downloads it. Where's the Helgen armor? It's gone.
It's gone.
That's
fucking hell.
not good.
Right.
Yeah.
Death Stranding with the monster drink, Monster Energy.
I don't like Death Stranding, but it doesn't matter. That Monster Energy drink should still be in the game because it was advertised to have it, and it should just be in there. To have it be limited time is kind of lame and kind of cringe. Just keep it in there. And come on, Monster Company. You tell me you can't talk to this company. There's not a single person there that's like, yeah, you know what? It is just free advertising. And really, it doesn't hurt us in the slightest because we don't have to pay you for this. It's like, no. It's like, that's just stupid. That's stupid. They have to be able to reason with some of these. There has to be like a living human being on the other side. Like when I see EA allow Skylords Reborn to exist, allow Return of Reckoning to exist, these things exist right now. You can download these right now. You can go play this right now. There's updates. It's got a live community. You can go play it and have fun and play this game right now. I'm not stopping you.
I'm stopping you.
I'm not stopping you. That's what I mean. The other types of preservation you see is, so these are fandom ones. These ones have the blessings of EA, right? And by blessings, I mean EA's like, here's the stuff. Just don't monetize it, please. If you do, we'll have to snap your testicles off. And they're like, okay, okay. Another case and example, and I know I swear, EA doesn't pay me, but EA did another good thing. Listen, okay, you hear me out. I'm not a talking piece for Electronic Arts, though they couldn't afford me if they wanted to.
I know where to tell if Kibbs is.
They killed the things I love.
How do you say the word space?
Space.
He's an EA plant chat.
Yeah. So this is a fan site hosted by fans where you can go and donate to support their website if you so choose. You can also download fixes for any of the Command & Conquer titles And if you want like the other Command & Conquer titles, it's a separate thing, if I remember right. These are specifically for the older engine. Sage engine games and up are different, but you can go and download them there, and you can pretty much just download the client and play these and stuff like that. There's also another one called OpenRA, which is an open source project where you can just play Command & Conquer and just play the multiplayer and then play some battles and stuff with people online and just have a fun time and remember old games from the 90s. But the big thing here I want to point at is that not only does this exist, but EA did the right thing, a gentleman's agreement of, okay, we're just gonna look the other way, you know? Like, you can do this, that's fine. And not only did they do that, but they went a step further. They didn't have to do this, but they chose to. They released the source code, not just for the old Command & Conquers, but they also released the Sage engine and lots of Sage engine tools that have long since been buried from their archives and stuff like that inside the EA archives, which is incredible. Incredible. That means keep your eyes, and again, it's only happened like this year, if I remember right, or was it early, late last year? I can't remember. Either way, it's still relatively recent in recent memory that this happened. I think it was this year, actually. This year's just been flying by. Oh, God. Either way, the modding community for the Command & Conquer games has always been incredibly amazing on ModDB. It's only going to be more incredible as time goes on because the tools with which to mod these games have now been improved upon, thanks to literally the actual developers from EA actually like releasing things and also patching things here and there, and then also re-releasing all the collection on Steam for you to download, and then patching it so it runs with modern systems. Again, there are good people inside these terrible companies. I'm just saying.
I'm Motorcyclist wants to point out that Valve is also a good company with that, actively letting the community or helping the community even get older stuff working.
Yes, this is imperative. It's imperative that we compromise and work together with developers. There's obviously going to be the rotten eggs, right? But it's imperative that we understand that these rotten eggs, they're terrible people. And they are. They're shit for doing that, for locking people out of the ability to play a game. Why would you do that? There's nothing to gain by that. You're hurting yourself and your own community. Now, the big thing here is that we need to try to reason with people whenever we can. Because the more people we bring to the table, the less we need to rely on the government, the more we can turn to ourselves and the industry can trust itself. It's a delicate relationship, one that we must work to be a part of. That's why I hope this initiative, Stop Killing Games, succeeds. I hope this is reached so that it can be cherished and loudly broadcast as a massive victory. And I hope that the EU government does absolutely nothing. But because of it reaching its mainstay, what I truly hope for is that the industry begins and more elements of the industry do the right thing. Because EA has done it in several cases, but there are several cases that they haven't done it as well. Like I said, they're not perfect. They've also made mistakes. They've also done bad things. Just because, Valve has done right here and there doesn't mean they haven't done bad in the past. But that's okay. Nobody's perfect. That's why it's important that we work to figure out a solution. Because this solution is imperative that we reach it without the government. We can do it without them. We made video games without them. We made communities without them. We sure as fuck don't need them here. We sure as fuck don't. Just yeah, look at them. They're all happy. Hell, all games which still operates is the source mod, dystopia, which is the definition of cyberpunk shit in FPS. That's true. Let's see. Players, can you just not abuse? Can just not abuse us, companies, 90%+ of the time. Fuck you, pretty much. That's true. The big thing is that we need to pressure companies to do this, right? And it should be a case-by-case basis. In my opinion, if it were up to me, and we had the manpower, which we clearly don't, even this organization, Stop Killing Games, sadly isn't succeeding based on its own merits. It's actually succeeding because of a drama, which is disheartening, but it is still going to succeed in that case, which is still good. It's succeeding if it just had fuel for the right reasons, not being galvanized by some petulant child on the internet. Oh well. But yes, this movement, by the way, was started by Accursed Farms, a really, really cool and chill dude. And yeah, he's been basically running it this whole time. And so it'd be an absolute amazing thing if this succeeded, because this is, I know, one of his dreams. And I like people's dreams getting succeeded, chat. Because I want to see mine succeed one day, too. It's called karma. It's called... I donated on Stream Elements. Okay, we'll take a look at it. As I closed all my windows with one fell swoop. Jesus.
Captain K
There we go.
donates $20.
Thank you very much.
Hail Kib & Co. If you guys want an in-depth video on Stop Calling Gamers, Gamers Nexus Consumer Advocacy made a great video interviewing Ross Scott of Cursed Farms. He made all of this. It's a great video to react to.
I'm not going to react to it because that's cringe. I'm not reaction-based. I'm independent. Reactionary content is vulturism. But I can't... There's no one who can better sell you on his own idea than the man himself. The channel is called Accursed Farms. Accursed Farms. Pretty easy to find. You can just simply go there and watch Ross's actual video. Because Ross will actually just walk you through what he believes in. Very chill dude. He's like, I can't believe he'd be chill. I know, right? I don't really like YouTubers, but there are some exceptions. And he is one of them. Because he's a human being. Most of us are not humans, so we don't count.
Most of us are beep boops.
Yeah, pretty much. DKK donates 20 Donkey Kongs, not Danish money. He says, shiny coin for shiny kid. Hashtag give choice. Thank you for the donation. What to put it to?
Killzone Aerith is what you were putting it towards.
Yeah, might as well. I think I need another drink. I've talked and talked and talked, and now I've run out of liquids in my body.
Good. Take his water, chat.
Yes, he had to hand the reins over. Well, yeah, because he's not in the EU. Ross is American. You know, based like a fellow countryman should be. But yes, the big thing here is that video game preservation, there is things for it. Night Dive Studios. You can support Night Dive Studios by buying their games. They're not sponsoring me, and I didn't stick my tongue out. That was because I looked down.
Or GOG. You can literally support that by just interacting on the game preservation or just in the old games.
Go to GOG, www.gog.com/en/GOG-preservation-program. And you...
EN being for English, so it'll be different based on, you know, if you have some other squiggly language.
Type in your squiggly dots there. But yeah, you can go here and see which games you wish to help preserve. These are some of the newest additions they've added. These are there for horny people. Judgment Rights.
Earthworm Jim 2.
Those aren't recent. I'm looking at some of those games like those have been up here for a while.
Breath of Fire? I thought that was a console exclusive.
These are basically articles on people, or no, they did eventually put it. I know Dino Crisis I thought was a console exclusive, but it got ported. And the OG Resident Evils. Like, they've been doing a lot for preservation. And again, while I don't like CD Projekt Red, I think they had the world and then they spat on everyone. I think the team in charge of GOG is the only good in CD Projekt Red. But that's my opinion. I'll see if they re-earn my trust after that fiasco 2077. The new Witcher game leaves me not hopeful. But I will say that GOG, or Good Old Games, is a good place, and it's a good thing to start. This honestly needs more resources, and I hate CD Projekt Red so much. They could be such a force for good. I'm actually going to lambast them just a little bit. They don't give GOG the resources they need to actually do what they need to do, let alone have mod support. They recently added a few mods to GOG's platform so you can download, and they're going to be adding more mods. But because CD Projekt Red refuses to give them any resources to work with, they can't actually really do what they need to do. And so they're understaffed and under-resourced. This is a tragedy, honestly. Because you're right, we can fight back. But first we need to beat the crap out of CD Projekt Red. CD Projekt Red should be pressured into actually giving GOG resources. They need more resources. If the GOG got more resources, more games could be preserved. They have done it, and they can do it. And fan communities like, you know, Skylords or Return of Reckoning or these various companies, they are important. It's weird. Let's see. There, perfection. Here's 3 was perfectly playable. What did the HD remaster again? I don't know about that. That's gonna be different. So those kind of HD remasters, or like the Baldur's Gate HD remaster, was handled by a company like Asper or Night Dive or somebody of the like. The company that handled the Baldur's Gate remasters, quote unquote, did a really bad job because they absolutely distorted the original version and then added really, really gay things to it. And I'm not kidding. They added really gay things to the game. Like, straight up, it's just gay. It's just gay. I'm not kidding. It's real. It's called Dragon Spear. Listen, I know. LK says Prey. You misspelled Prey, but I get what you got for. AVP, AVP2, Warcraft 3. Yeah, those things should be added as well. Now, I will say that Warcraft 3 Reforged is good now. I've tried it recently. I was surprised. I made a complete recovery. But it should be on GOG and it should be on Steam as well. They shouldn't just make it just on one platform. Platform exclusivity is bad for consumers. But having only one platform is bad for consumers too. So it's good that there are competitors. Competitors mean that they have to fight each other, which is perfect. Because they have to win us over by seducing you for your money. It's like, well, thanks, Kip. I know, you're welcome. But yes, I think I've moved through most of the major issues, or no, I've touched on it, basically, but there's different methods to deal with this, right? Oh, god damn. Elkai says, they gave a lot of resources to make Budio in Cali. That company is seriously fugged. Yeah, CD Projekt Red can't be trusted. CD Projekt Red should be giving resources to good old games so that we can see Emperor Battle for Dune there,
We do know that Good Old Games basically is on a shoestring budget.
They're on a shoestring budget. It's a good team with a good heart who's being
Which is why it's
sabotaged by a
important to
bad
support
company.
them, because, once again, circling back, this is a great example of the industry itself preserving games. We need to actually support it and not just ignore it and then go to the government instead.
Yes, whenever old
Yep.
games come out, I always buy them on GOG. Even so, that whenever I have free spending money, I rebought old games that I had on Steam on GOG to support GOG. I did that. That's why I have 1,800 GOG games now. I have a lot. Or is it
There's more
1,800, or is that
donations.
also combining my Steam account? I'm not sure, but I have like 1,000. Grumpy Donuts also say competition breeds innovation. Same takes. Thank you for the donation, Grumpy Red. Very much appreciate it, and it's good to see you as always, buddy. Hope you're doing good, buddy. Let's see. Polly Donuts $5 says, I remember Dragon Spear put in a literal troll that was spreading libelous lies about another character for journalistic integrity. Hashtag same takes. Yeah, I know a little bit about that because my uncle worked on that, and I don't know. I'm just saying, people that worked on that game, little fruity. Or no, did he work on the remaster? I can't remember. He drew some of the portraits. River gives 5 memberships. It says something. That's right. You can't type messages. You have to wait till after. And then he says hi. Thank you for the gifted membership. It's very generous. The question becomes, do we support GOG while lambasting CDEPR then? CD Projekt Red? And the question becomes, thing is, if we don't support GOG, GOG just dies and fizzles out anyways. Then they're gone forever and dead. Then what?
You have to remember, chat, that these companies aren't a monolithic entity that just
Yes.
controls and they all work the same. Like, there's aspects of these companies, especially when they're as big as, CD Projekt Red or EA. Like, there's different branches. You can support what a section of it's doing without supporting the entire whole. Like, you can still call out CD Projekt Red about the nonsense and BS they're pushing, but still praise what GOG is doing.
Absolutely.
Even though they are part of it.
Only a Chatfish, only a Sith operates at absolutes, chat. Chat's like, that's an absolute. That's an absolute.
Then the fucking computer programmer starts sweating, knowing their code is being pushed into binary.
It's yes from there. Oh no.
Oh, that was funny. But yeah, but the big thing here to take away from that is that, how do I put this? EA does good, EA does bad. EA killed most of my favorite studios. Pandemic, Westwood, the EA Los Angeles, the guys that made Command & Conquer and Battle for Middle-earth. Dead, dead, dead. They've killed many companies. Visceral, Games, dead. And they're going to kill many more, probably. This is what publishers do. Once you're no longer useful, they squeeze you like a little lemon and juice you. BioWare's probably next on the chopping block, if I had to guess. Or DICE. We'll find out.
I mean, BioWare is a shell of them for former self.
Even at their prime, BioWare was sketchy, though, internally. Because I have a lot to say about BioWare, the more I learned about them. I did a deep dive and study on them. One of the big things is that BioWare intentionally, how do I put this? The B team that made the DLC and expansions that basically fixed a lot of the people's complaints and tried to fix the lore holes and gaps in Mass Effect 3, they were on damage control, right? What's funny about that is I think the main alpha team that went on to make Anthem despised them over this. And that's why when the beta team was like, hey, can we please get help? We need help with Andromeda. We don't know what to do. The primary team looked at them and said, go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself. They didn't help them, and not only did they not help them, but they literally just left them out to die. And while EA, because the way I look at it is like you have these little companies, right, that work under EA, like screaming and dying, right? And then there was an opportunity for camaraderie here, an opportunity for the main studio to help the sister studio. And instead of helping the sister studio, it spat on them and then pushed them under the water so that they could die, which is exactly what happened with Andromeda. I'm just saying, BioWare's not the company that I think a lot of people think it ever was. And while they make some things I liked, and there's some things that are good within it, they're kind of terrible. At least the people that were in BioWare at the time of the Andromeda development were doing that to the beta team. I know we all laugh at Andromeda, and it's not a very good game, but man, people who cared lost their jobs over it. And people who tried their damnedest and hardest to save it, you know, it's actually a tragic... It's funny because we all laugh and mock it, but when you actually look at the interior, it's kind of sad. Like when you know what happened. Gregors donates £5 and says, we need to stimulate competition, so keep GOG alive for this purpose. Otherwise, we will return to the current position. Hashtag Helgen, hashtag SF, hashtag Hans Choice. That's a free hashtag choice, by the way. Thank you for the donation. Very generous. Sir Matt donates some pounds or euros because it scrolled. By the way,
euros.
Memberships no give XP. Hashtag Rapier, hashtag SF, hashtag Fit. You guys are all fucking playing the system. I see what you're doing. Like,
yes, Fuzzy, it's a bunch cast.
It's a surprise bunch cast, yes. It's because this issue is honestly worth covering. I talk about video game preservation almost all the time, but I've never done a dedicated bunch cast about it. Or maybe I did. I don't know. But it felt like it was worth doing another one again anyways, because now there's a lot of fervor in the movement, and maybe there can be positive change. Now, I'm also highlighting other things, because the Stop Killing Games movement it's good that it's happening, and I hope it succeeds, but I don't think it's going to do anything. But I do know that there are things that will do something. Not only will they do something, but they will effectively do positive things without the government being involved. GOG is one example. Night Dive Studios is another example. Fan communities like Skylords, Reborn, or fan communities like Return of Reckoning are also positive things. Or the CNC Net community are also good. Or, hear me out, My Abandonware, also a good thing. Not only is it a good thing, but if you scroll down to the bottom, they even make little fixes and stuff that are uploaded by fans. Where to put it? Look at all these things. The German version preserved, the English version. I think the No Fun Forever version is the one you want. I don't remember percent. An all-in-one installer, English and Chinese. Installer fixes and patches and all those things. And pre-versions. But yeah, look at that. Pretty cool. If you're looking for old games and you can't find them anywhere else, always check My Abandonware. It's a good website, and I do wholeheartedly support them in their effort. What they're doing is incredibly important, because they are video game preservationists. And these people are truly heroes. Even these little fan communities. They often get no praise, no recommendation, no highlighting. But they're out here fighting the good fight, and actually not only preserving these games, but programming and even coding new code in them, updating them and adding new content, like Return to Reckoning, which, if I remember right, they've been adding new things to the game that were never in the game, and have actually continued the game's development long since its passing. That is incredibly impressive. Incredibly impressive. I think that's worth commendation. I think that's worth calling out, because it's worth mentioning that there are many preservationist movements inside the games industry, more than just the stop killing games thing. There's actual studios dedicated towards it, like Night Dive, whose director's a little bit quirky. You're a little quirky. You are, if you're listening. You're just got issues. You need to control your quirkiness. You need to control your quirky, and just keep doing what you're doing without being too quirky. He's a quirky guy. Don't follow him, or it'll paint what I'm trying to tell you, that you should support. That's like, start sweating. Might check out Reckoning. I was thinking about streaming it one day, but it's how to put it. It's an old MMO. It's basically a World of Warcraft killer, quote unquote. So it's World of Warcraft, but watered down, and it basically stole all its features, like the world bosses and everything else, and everything in there is pretty much borrowed from other games. But it's one of those things where it is cool and interesting, and despite it being a clone of another game, doesn't make it bad at all. It just means that it's got some flaws, because it inherits a lot of flaws because it tries to mimic another game, when it should have tried to become its own thing. But it is an interesting game. I will say that much. And you can have fun playing it. Yeah, it's an MMO that doesn't cost any money. Grab a buddy, make him some characters and go do some dungeons. Dungeons. Cat loves dungeons. But yes, video game preservation. Very, 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 very important. Absolutely. My nose itches. Now, the quick question I have for Chatfish is, what would you like to see happen for preservationism? What would you like to see? What kind of games would you like to see preserved? Now's your chance. Now's your chance to step onto up. Now's your chance to step up onto a soapbox and say what kind of game and why you want to support it, and why do you want to see it restored. Because I do want to highlight this moment of the stream as a moment in which everybody, say the game you want preserved. I'm not gonna pull it up, but we'll talk about it. Well, maybe I will.
I know a game I want preserved that you could actually vote on the dream list for GOG for them to work on it.
Technically, you vote on almost any game. They're all on there. I'm pretty sure. A lot of them.
Myth: The Fallen Lords.
Myth: The Fallen Lords would be an excellent choice. That one definitely is worth
Also,
preserving.
if you want to vote on any chat, the community tab at the top is where the dream list thing is to vote.
See, if GOG had proper support, the dream list wouldn't just be a dream list. It would be essentially a wish list. Like, everything would be added.
Well, it kind of is. Once something gets enough votes or traction, it seems like
They'll try to go after it to get it on.
Even the developers are going after Freelancer right now, from the looks of it.
Freelancer was a neat little game.
But here's the right page.
Oh my goodness, Freelancer. That's a fucking blast from the past. I played that. It's special.
Yeah, it was.
I have to log in again. I think I'm not logged in. That is okay. I don't need to be logged in. All right, what did Chatfish say? Read some of their suggestions. Highlight them by speaking them. Speak them out loud while I grab a drink, because I need more stuff in my
The
cup.
Heroes of Might and Magic games, says Fafnir.
I thought they were all on there. They might have
Pretty sure
missed
most of them are.
Look, you said read them. That's the
Yes,
first
go
one I
ahead.
saw.
I mean,
Lemmings, because they basically kickstarted what later became Team 17 and have cultural value. I agree with that, Razimus.
Hmm.
Zach Galactic Warrior. Welcome to stream, Vulpus. Parasite Eve. Oh. If that's on there, I'll give that a vote, Rifford. Yeah, Freelancer's already up there, which Freelancer was special, for sure.
I'm not going to say it's a good game, but it's certainly an interesting game.
all games, regardless of good
Knights-
or bad, should be preserved.
Knights
I
and
agree.
Merchants.
I'm flashing back to memories of playing the game.
Space Monkey 22 says Star Wars or Dark Forces sequels. Descent 3, Lots RTS. I think they're all available. Almost all the Star Wars games are still available, except like Force Commander. That isn't. I know that much. And some of the more obscure ones, like the weird Gungan colony thing, that's also not available. Oops, excuse me. Oh, and the movie games. Attack of the Clones movie game, Revenge of the Sith movie game are not on Steam or GOG.
Parasite Eve 2 are are on the dream list to bring to GOG and be, maintained.
But yes, GOG is, I think, our best bet for a massive industry push for this. That's kind of why I wish the Stop Killing Games movement would also look at GOG as another place, a venue for this. Now, granted, I understand that it's also for live service games, but I'm sure if GOG had the resources, I bet GOG could host the servers. Actually, they could, but they don't have the resources for that. It's not that difficult to actually host servers for an MMO. What is difficult is that it does cost money for maintenance, because it needs to A, have maintenance, B, they need to make sure that patches come out occasionally, even if they're not like major content patches or anything like that, but like support patches. Like, for example, new Windows update. You're at Windows 13 and it's really ass. Well, now none of your games work. Okay, now we gotta wait till a patch comes out. So yeah, otherwise some games just don't function no more, and that's not good.
Well, Jano, a lot of those Lord of the Rings games suffer from licensing issues.
Licensing hell.
Which is
Yep, it's the same
But
as
they should be. There should be a movement to preserve them.
No, I
Yes.
agree. I was gonna say it's similar to a lot of the really early Alien versus Predator games, because there was a lot of companies involved in making that happen.
Is it only PC games or ports? All games. All games. Ports and the versions. All the Harry Potter games, the PlayStation version, the Game Boy version, the PlayStation 2 version, the PC version. That's back in an era when a game company, did you know, there was an era in game development where when EA made like a movie license game, they actually had 5 studios make 5 different games for 5 different things. The Harry Potter movie games and the Star Wars movie games all had this. A lot of them had that. As well as the Lord of the Rings movie games had a bit of this as well. Where there was like 7 versions of a game, or like 5 versions. I think the Harry Potter one is the most extreme, with 6 versions, if I remember right. 6 or 5. For I think it was Sorcerer's Stone. By 5 or 6 different studios. That's fucking wild. Working on basically the same game with the same name, the same design board of like objectives, but all different, like individually different design choices by each team. It's a really interesting study based on limitations of technology and what they had at their disposal, as well as how each team interpreted each objective differently. I know, it's weird. It's like a weird obsession I have to look at little studios, watch them wiggle. Why would you wiggle? Then I suggest Twisted Metal 2, World Tour. That's more than viable. Oh, yes, console games. You think I'm going to let console games weasel out of this? Jesus Christ, no. They should be on this list too. Star Wars Battle for Naboo. Where's my Star Wars Battle for Naboo? It's not on
There's a couple
GOG.
old games I wouldn't mind seeing brought to PC, like Second Sight. We need proper ports of Time Splitters.
Yep. Ratchet and Clank.
Geist was a fun little game.
Sly Cooper. Jack and Dexter.
This will never happen, but I'd love to see Battalion Wars.
Battalion Wars 1 and 2. Yes, of course.
Oh, those were so fun. When you were down to one guy. Oh, that brave little soldier. I hope he can do it.
Hanging the little guy. That is the spirit, Jet. Well, yes, definitely check out GOG's Dream List. Also, is the Stop Killing Moot Games movement. If you're in the EU or in the UK, you should consider signing it. If it isn't too much to ask. I know it's just a little bit of time, but signing it is important because it'll help raise awareness. I hope to God the government doesn't do anything with this, because I don't want them getting involved in the industry. I hate regulations. And I'm worried for myself. I will admit, I have my own vested interest into why, of course. I'm an indie developer. Of course I'm worried what the government's going to do. It could directly affect my life. It's already enough hurdles to jump through. We have to fill up that daily goal every single day. You see that bar in the bottom right corner of the stream? If we don't fill up that bar, that's not good. We don't fill it up for 1 week, that's bad. People lose their jobs if that happens. We live paycheck to paycheck. It's not easy being cheesy, but it is what it is. Which is why, if that's the hurdle I have to deal with, so be it. I don't want the government adding more little hoops for me to jump through. That's it. That's it. That's my only concern. That's why. That's my horse. You know, it's me. I'm in the race. Help! Shoot the other horse, please. Shoot the other. All Xbox arcade games like Undertow and Assault Heroes. Undertow. That's the one aquatic one with the girl with the camel toe. I remember.
What?
Don't worry about it. Oh yes, it's like basically like a little. Oh, there's a lot of little Xbox Live arcade games. Oh, Fat Princess for PlayStation as well. That was great. Fat Princess is like awesome.
I have not thought about that game for a fucking while.
Fat Princess is like. I wish it was on Steam. I wish it was on...
Chat, it's literally what you fucking are thinking in your head right now. It is a princess that just eats food constantly.
It's Capture the Flag, where you have a princess and you have to protect your princess while stealing someone else's princess. And in order to protect your princess, you feed her sweets so she becomes fat. And as
So
she becomes...
she's literally too large to move.
Yep, so that it's harder to move the flag. And it sounds retarded, and it is, and it's amazing.
It is.
It's like it's got the charm of Team Fortress 2, but like top down twin stick shooter style, like arcade. It's really fun. Fat
Well,
Princess.
well. It seems Indio did Killzone 3.
He did.
Oh, we did. Well, we'll have to kill
3 versions because he couldn't decide which one he wanted better. He liked better.
It's like slight color filters, isn't it? That's usually how he is.
Yeah.
Typical slutty-o. Those are good. I'll pull those up on stream 1 second. Read what Jimmy wrote. Jimmy wrote! While I pull it up. You guys not see it? Is that it? Is that way quiet? Do my headphones die? Hello?
Hello.
Okay.
Jimmy's been a member for 34 months. Had first aid and fire safety training today. Managed to give insulin instead of Nephrine to put the victim into a coma. Hashtag peak. Jimmy, you
Thank
pay for yours, right?
Did you
I'm
kill
assuming
somebody?
he pays for
Did
his.
you kill... Is that what I just saw? Training. Oh, okay. I was like,
No, he literally said this last night that he couldn't stay up to it because he had fire training today.
I thought he killed
he
somebody.
murdered
Like,
someone.
What the fuck?
Hold on.
What the...
They're in a coma. They're not dead yet.
This thumbnail was finished, chat, for the KZ3 stream. Indio, finish it. Take a look. I think the red one is pretty good, but the blue one's...
I think the red's a bit too much.
It's a bit too much. I think that one's the perfect. Mostly because I like the contrasts are a bit starker in that one. That one's a desaturation. But then again, the desaturation
So you like that?
pop air with more. I get it.
Dude, I find really funny with Rapier.
Oh, super chat.
His fucking glasses are like actively just glowing. It's not like it's a light source from the helmet.
Now, Space Monkey donates $5 and says,
Yeah.
Star Wars Shadows of the Empire and Dark Forces sequels are on Steam, but don't well or at all on don't run well. Yes,
I'm assuming he forgot to put in the word play.
there's a company that should do it. Night Dive Studios is one of the best companies that has done the most work for these things. And they brought back a lot of old games and made them workable. I actually wish Night Dive Studios would get bigger and be more successful. That's why I do fully recommend System Shock 2 Anniversary Edition. We'll be streaming it after this. And you're going to go watch that stream, chat. And then you're going to buy the
Allegedly.
game. And you're going to make the daily goal. And you're going to have a good day.
I will not buy the game, and the good day is questionable.
To be fair, I also didn't buy the game.
What?
I
I thought
bought
you
the
would have.
previous game and was given this one because I bought that one.
Oh, okay. Wait, they gave it to you?
No, remember if you bought the the remaster of the first game, at a particular point, they said you would get the
Oh yeah, the anniversary for free.
anniversary, yeah, or the enhanced edition for free for 2.
So, Vulpes
Hmm.
is cashing in on his Patreon because he just upped his membership on it.
Ooh, what do you get?
To
God.
finish funding Green Branch's Chatfish, Genghis's Chatfish, and to start a comm slot for Morty.
Well, that's very
Such
nice of you.
generosity.
And thank you for upping your membership. That helps keep me fed.
He's like, yay, ramen for a day.
Actually, we do better than ramen. I did find, by the way, and this is a PSA for all of you chatfish out there, make sure that when you eat food that's good. If you eat the cheapest food, you'll actually become just sad, and you'll actually start becoming what I think was depression, is what I discovered. Yeah, don't do that.
Yes,
Don't do
it's not
that.
just that. When you buy the absolute cheapest stuff, it's not made with the best stuff, which leads into a very bad feedback loop of you kind of feel like shit, so you don't want to put much effort into getting food, so you just keep buying it, and it just
Yep.
it doesn't get better.
It just makes you feel bad, like you feel sad. Now I just buy meat, and now I'm happy.
I really should get like a George Foreman or fucking something, so
Air
it's
fryers
easier
are
to like
great.
make burgers.
I got a blender so I can make
No, I have an air
milkshakes
fryer,
now.
but I'm gonna say I don't think I've seen a decent recipe or anything for just like
Blender.
throwing a fucking like patty in an air fryer to heat that up.
Burger patty? I don't know if you threw those in there. Breaded chicken, probably.
No, you can throw chicken, but I don't think you're supposed to throw like an entire like meat patty in an air fryer.
I've never tried that. I don't know what would happen. I never used beef.
I would imagine there'd be a lot of grease.
Yep, that's gonna be annoying to clean, but oh well. That's why you soak everything. Soaking everything makes everything easier. I've got
That's the
a
little
meat
bitch
box
solution.
subscription for 4 kilograms of meat every 2 weeks. What is a meat box subscription? I don't know what that means.
I'm not
They
gonna
send
lie.
you meat every month.
Yesterday, I'm not gonna lie, I misread that for a second, and it's like I got a meat box subscription, 4 grams of meat every 2 weeks. It's like, okay, weird flex.
But yes,
4
basically,
grams.
what I'm trying to say, Chatfish, is stop killing alien movement is good. Dog is good and should be kissed on the cheek. Yeah.
Night dive.
Night dive,
So
kissed
far,
on the cheek,
good.
and then tell the director to stop being weird.
Hopefully,
Tell the director to stop
the
being weird.
System Shock 2 remake is not just going to be neon colors
Hopefully,
and
yeah.
looking like a more. It wasn't generic per se, but it's like this just looks like a Unity game.
Yeah. Also, did we read all the lists? I thought Chat would have said more things that they wanted to see preserved. Or did you guys just not read them when I waddled away to get Mountain Dew? You didn't read it, did you? Chat, type the things again. I'm sorry. These chuckle fucks didn't read it. I wanted to highlight everybody's requests.
What if people said the same thing?
And what if it was only like 2 things people said, Gibbs?
Chat wouldn't
Unless
just
you're
do
gonna-
that.
Yeah.
Chat.
What if they
Vulpes
basically
says
said,
horse is amazing. Is this what you wanted, Gibbs?
What? That's not related to games. Wait. Yeah! Emperor Battle for Doom. This one.
Good number of votes. As Gibbs doesn't vote for it.
I have to log in.
wow, I guess he hates the game.
He does.
Open tab.
I think he wants it to go away forever.
I'm going to point out, Gibbs, there is some adult games that they're bringing back. They're adding it, so be careful when you start searching for things.
Sees an image like chat. We have to.
Because when I started to search for Parasite Eve, the
found
second
other
top
things.
game was definitely not a safe for work thing.
Now I know this one. Was it Parasite in City or some
Wait,
shit like that?
holy shit! Dark Seed.
I think it was
That-
just called Parasite.
Okay.
Dark Seed is another game I've
'Cause that's
not
a
thought
hentai
of for
game.
a while.
And I know of it because when I Googled Parasite Eve, I found out. Because I was like, what does Rifford want? And like, it's a side scroller. And I'm like, well, that's a really good sprite art. And I'm like, wow, the main character is kind of cute. And then I saw
Wait
her
a
give
minute.
birth, and I'm like, what?
Dungeon Keeper mobile version, says Alkai.
Oh, my dad loved the Dungeon Keeper mobile version of the game. But with the crack that made it so you didn't have to do the microtransactions, because it's actually really fun. It's a really fun game.
Oh yeah, when they actually just remove, it's like, wow, this is actually a decent game.
Yeah.
Zack's Galactic
Most
Warrior.
mobile games are actually really not bad games. It's just they have
Also, good night, Chaplain.
paywalls to incentivize microtransactions, or what do you call hurdles that you have to jump over.
They're
That's how they get you.
basically designed in such a way to make you irritated because it's interrupting the game loop.
Let's cover screen. Two. Nice. Now I'm a little concerned because they should have uploaded this version instead, but they did the first one. And if you just do this one, you get all three of them. Because
I think no. So Kib's that one. I think it's literally just people recognize the base game, and they're not necessarily looking for the like anthology or shit like that. They just remember like, oh yeah, this one was great, and so they're doing that one.
Yep. I mean, odds are if they get the negotiation for one of them, the odds of getting the other two should be relatively slim. But mission 3 will be good, says Wifford. And then he explodes.
They adapted their first two already.
3 games is nice. At the cost of microtransactions? Screw that. Let me pay 5 and be done. One time buy.
There
yes.
was a
What?
There was a mobile game I used to play a fair bit called Galaxy on Fire 2 HD. It was pretty cool. Says Crazy Templar.
I've heard of that one.
I've heard the name Galaxy on Fire.
That's a big fire. That's a big fire. Here, Yui says he's sick of live service games. I'm not sick of live service games. I'm not sick of games. I'm just sick of games.
To be fair, I understand.
I understand that you're sick of the bullshit.
understand.
Yes.
Yeah, I understand the sentiment because it's
Because
more
there's
of-
like one like game that's done live service well, or at least decently.
Well, we're currently
and
playing
all
2
the other
live
ones
service
just end
games
up
at the
shitting
moment.
bricks.
Dune Awakening and Helldivers 2, which are both live service
Ye-
games.
Except Dune Awakening's late or end game content is a mess.
Well,
And
we bought it. It's how do I put this?
It's
a
an
more,
early access
It's
game.
a more conventional MMO compared to Helldivers 2, because the end game
Yeah.
is actually dungeons and raids, and much like most MMOs, when they launch, I know this is gonna sound weird because I don't think you played many, but usually they launch without any end game. Like the end game content is always. bare
I've played
bones.
an okay amount of MMOs.
I know, but by the time you get to the end game, it's like there's not a lot there, and you have to wait for them to put stuff there. That's not to argue about justifying it. It's just, sadly, that's just how it is, because that's how game
Also-
development works. Sadly, but
Just one last bit for Dune Awakening. We're gonna lose this lands route.
oh yeah, well of course, there's valuable things to win.
Yeah,
there's-
literally, Atreides already
There-
has like 5.
there's shit that is actually interesting to people, like unique parts or equipment.
Spunky Monkey Noise, $5 at Panzer Dragon, Orta, Mech Assault 1 and 2. Yep, very much. Needs to get HG Masters. Game only original Xbox. Yep,
I
there's
am
a lot of
Mech Assault. I was
Xbox
playing an
exclusives.
emulated version of that,
Mech Assault 1 and 2
and
are
it
fun.
was a pain.
Yeah, that's why you use my my wall of consoles over there. Why is my PS2 still on?
Uh-oh.
No, 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 no.
I just gotta turn it off. Oh, my PS2 on. Alright, where's this disc go? The box. We gotta make sure we don't miss
Dragoon.
discs.
Panzer Dragoon Orta.
We finished Ace Combat 4 recently, so I had to put that away. But yes, I'm going to recap one last time because I noticed that all the stuff I said in the beginning is most of you are too lazy to wind back the clock because you're chubby little chatfish. And I know you're chubby. So, don't pretend I don't know. Stop Killing Games is a movement about video game preservation. Its core root and foundation was founded by Scott. Not funded. I mean, maybe, but founded by Scott from Accursed Farms, and the idea of it is basically to preserve live service games. So things like Dune Awakening, things like Helldivers 2, World of Warcraft, would be affected by this as well. I'm only listing the games that are live because it's mostly the movement's pushing towards games that are already dead. But the reason why I mention these ones is they're popular in fire right now, and the fire emote, you know what I mean? They're trendy, and that means that you're more likely to care about them than something like 30 years ago. But it all matters because it's all worth preserving. If Helldivers 2 isn't preserved, then Dune Awakening isn't. Neither is, Star Trek Online or Lord of the Rings Online or whichever MMO you like. If you like any, that is. But that's what it's mostly dedicated to, and it's about saving live service games from obliteration when their servers get pulled down. And my point of doing the stream was to highlight cases on how to create solvent solutions to the problem without the involvement of the government. But I do want the petition to succeed because it succeeding would still raise awareness. I just hope that the industry does something, and I hope the government does nothing. Because the government gets involved, it's bad. And the reason why it's bad is I can go no further than simply citing Australia, Germany for censor bullshit. And if you're in those countries, you understand what it's like to have video games banned. That's why getting the EU involved or government involved expects censorious things to happen that will affect us all negatively. However, the hope here is that the movement will succeed. The hope is that the government won't do anything, and the hope is that instead it just brings greater awareness to the general public, and the general public and the communities of these development studios do something about it. And if you're ever like, oh, development doesn't do nothing, Kip, the publishers don't care, well, you're partially correct, but not entirely either. Because there are cases in which Electronic Arts, and the reason why I use them as a reference for today is because what's the worst company you can think of when it comes to preserving games, or what you would think to be? And the first thought that comes to my mind would be Ubisoft. Electronic Arts. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Ubisoft is honestly one of those villains
they literally stop you from being able to play single-player games.
That's true. Ubisoft has now since eclipsed EA, but from my childhood, EA was the menace. So that's why I understand them a bit better. True. Like Tom Clancy's End War. Don't forget about that. True. World in Conflict. Mm-hmm. Actually, no, those are available. I know, yeah, I think you can. I don't know about End War, but I do know you can get World in Conflict and its complete expansion on GOG.com. She's like, oh, thank you for telling me. Kid.
Nintendo's also atrocious for that.
Nintendo is rancid when it comes to video game preservation. Not only will they barely fucking do anything to preserve their own games, but when they do, they'll charge you up the ass for it.
Oh,
because they're greedy as fuck. And then they don't even let you keep it.
Actively. No, they don't mind if you keep it, but you have to keep a original copy from the console.
But Kibbs, now you can pay a monthly fee to get access to old 64 games on the Switch or old Super Nintendo games that are curated and they only put games that they want on there.
Ew. That's terrible. I hate it.
Also, with Space Monkey's latest dono, right?
Oh, no, I don't know. Let's read it.
For $1.99, he says Drakengard 3.
What about the other two? Those should be preserved.
He just wants 3.
Just skip. 3 doesn't just need to be fucking preserved. 3 needs fucking love. Oh my god, that game runs like ass. That game runs like 3 is an abortion of a video game that was not ever meant to be released. But it should be preserved. Absolutely. I just hope that when they preserve it, they also go and patch it. And actually make it at least run. Holy crap. That thing shits itself.
Okay, says companies can't monetize you if you still play old games.
They can actually. That's why I'm offering solutions. I'm offering a compromise. Compromises is the more reasonable thing than just simply demanding. Demanding is blah, blah, blah. Nobody cares. Silence you. So the more important thing, what we need to do is we need to compromise. Now, what's a compromise that's equitable for both parties? Like, yay. Look at you. Happy. Happy fish. You're happy. Don't you fucking lie to me, you son of a bitch. Now, compromises come in many forms. Again, Night Dive Studios is a compromise solution. Night Dive Studios remasters the games or patches them like with enhanced editions and then re-releases them on Steam so that they work. And then they make a remake afterwards which respects and is faithful to that game that they just remastered. Now, they don't do this for all the games like Dark Forces or Stop Killing Time or not Stop Killing Time, Killing Time or whatever the fuck it is called. But they do that for some of them like the System Shock series because it's a little bit more popular. These are great ways in which we can compromise and also not only get the old games supported, but also get more content for those old games that were forgotten. Hence why Night Dive Studios logo is literally like a little dude with a little, or not a little dude, he's dead actually. It's a dead dude and a little dead
He
scuba.
could still be alive. You don't know.
No, he's definitely dead. He's definitely dead. But the idea of this is that it's them resurrecting sunken ships, basically. That's Night Dive Studios' entire like core for being. They are resurrecting old games that have been forgotten and brought back. And that's what they've been doing, and that's what they have been doing. It's their entire studio's goal. This
Now, what
is a
was it about
compromise.
the CEO you were saying is a weirdo?
He's a bit goofy. I don't honestly weirdo.
He's just a goof?
He's goofy. He's highly emotional. He lets his inner thoughts bleed out. But I respect him because he's managed to always keep his personal thoughts and opinions separate from his work, which is admirable.
That's always good.
Yes. It's admirable. But that's why I warn in advance that you should be wary that he's a bit of a goober, okay? He says things on, X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it, that are dumb, but he doesn't let
He keeps
that
his
bleed
personal
into it.
views and business views.
Because I vehemently disagree with him on several dozen things, but the big thing is he's always straight. He's always good. He's always producing good stuff. Straight and clean.
Produces good stuff. First thing I see is Sin. Sin Gold.
This is the next one they're actually going to uplift. That's the next game they're working on, actually. Sin, right now.
What does the tentacle mean, Kibbs? What does it mean?
It means they're saving you.
Stuff.
He
Jeff
just looks straight into the camera.
People
Means
like to not
means.
choose to forget that those little shotgun cups can have teeth in them.
Yeah, ouch.
Yeah. They can be sharp.
Little teepees. Little twofers.
And also, octopuses are very vindictive.
Yeah, they also have beaks.
The birds. Water bird. Water bird. That mess up remaking Sin. Yeah, true. But yes, back to what I was saying, compromises. The other compromise that EA had done was basically turning a blind eye while releasing the server tools and resources for Age of Reckoning, the Warhammer MMO that didn't work out for them, and the other MMO, the card RTS called Star-Lord, Lords of War. No, that's a movie. Battle Lords. Yes, that's what it was, I think. And then they had them rebrand it to the fan team rebrand it to Skylords, just like they had them rebrand Return of Reckoning from Age of Reckoning. And they had them remove the Warhammer logo. The reason why EA had them do that was so that GW didn't come and shit all over the place. Now GW, make no mistake, will shit all over this at some point because they're a shit company. So much so that EA even stuck up for these guys over them. I want to point that out. Fucking weird. Fucking weird. Weird times we live in, chat. Weird times. And CNCNet, again, a fan-based preservation program dedicated to preserving the Command & Conquer collection, and has done a really good job. My only regret is that the CNC fandom hasn't fully embraced the idea of integrating Emperor Battle for Dune, as well as the Battle for Middle Earth series in there. Yeah, they're spin-offs, but they're just Command & Conquer games with different skins. That's the only difference. But
I thought of another fan one that's being done that's also an EA title.
what's that?
Kyber.
Uh-huh. What?
For Star Wars Battlefront.
Oh, Kyber. Yeah, the Kyber team.
Yeah.
That's an ongoing project for Star Wars Battlefront 2 EA. The Kyber team is currently working on a way to make you be able to play private servers and lobbies with Battlefront 2 EA, including adding more heroes, more classes, more weapons, new maps, and new factions and stuff. Basically,
And just overall balance.
the Kyber team represents what Battlefront 2 EA should have been, and is basically working on making the project that way, and is working not necessarily in collaboration, but more or less with the consent of EA, by basically making it so you have to own Battlefront 2 EA in order to actually play it. This preservation thing is also a similar method to how gas-powered games did Supreme Commander, where you may use Forged Alliance Forever, but you need to have an installed and downloaded copy of Supreme Commander and Supreme Commander Forged Alliance in order to run FAF, or Forged Alliance Forever. And it's basically just a superior version of playing. Again, there's a lot of cases where video game preservation is actively a thing that both developers and the communities are working together towards. The reason why the Stop Killing Games movement is a thing is a very valid reason. It's because there are some companies that aren't working with the communities. EA is. Bethesda does. Like other companies do. Companies that even we question. I have criticism for Bethesda and EA, a lot of them. But the one thing that I do appreciate and will always praise them for doing is working with the community to help preserve the games, even if they did kill those franchises.
Don't worry, chat. I do see it.
What?
Gibbs is a membership milestone for you to read.
I'll read it. Jano's been a member for 25 months. It says Tentacle is a subtle no to Kib, pushing ideas for now. 3 Tenties art pieces. SF fit. Hashtag Aerith. That's true. Aerith is, I think, less than, how many dollars away from being absolutely ravaged by tentacles? I don't know.
12.
$12. If we get $12 for a hashtag Aerith, Aerith's body will be ravaged.
And I'm assuming that's for literal Indio Bindio.
Yep, that's an Indio one. Oh, Indio did mention that he doesn't want any more work. Well, he didn't want it to pile up too much. Now, this one was already an ongoing fund, so it's whatever. So we can avoid...
No more, so Indio
he's
on pause.
He's currently trying to
two
catch
artists are on pause.
They're trying to defer to Licky. Oh, wait, no, Licky is... God damn, he's over encumbered.
Alu's on vacation, but he's still okay with getting more, I think.
Yep, piled on his plate. Basically because
just
of how
not animated.
Yeah, he just want... Or did he say that explicitly?
He said that explicitly to me, yes. He doesn't want more animated for now.
I also remember him saying that.
I think he should be punished. He loves animating. He just complains a lot about it. He's like, okay, that makes sense. He's paid well. He should enjoy it. And he's paid hourly. So, you know what? There's nothing to complain about. You know, it takes longer. So what?
But yeah. So Indio and...
I'm kidding, chat. I'm giving him crap in case he's in chat.
Or not Indio. Alu.
But I think he's actually away right now. No Palu to make fun of. Mucho sad. Jumpy Rat. Grumpy Rat. Not Jumpy Rat. Grumpy Rat donates $12 and says, Jano's thing. Thank you for the donation. Well, Jano, remember that Grumpy Rat helped you here, so if Grumpy ever needs assistance in the future, you owe him a favor. It's true. And thank you for the generous donation, Grumpy Fish. Oops. Clicking wrong buttons, Gib. Animate Acumen donates $5 says, I have sinned, Chat Father. I have created a communist Hungary Balkan faction in Hearts of Iron 4. You have sinned. But you know what? If you want to play the bad guys, there's no other game to do it in. Watch Lion Fool, where you can create communist nations and watch as people starve to death, and then spread starvation across the globe. Spread starvation across the globe. The spicy forbidden red color. The spicy of communism. Jana does 50 Polish bucks and says, I wouldn't say ravaged. Previous two were rather tame. Aya and Celeste were downright chilling in there. That's true. They're just chilling. Being groped. As you do when you get tentacled. You just relax.
Gibbs is quite knowledgeable on getting tentacled.
I'm not knowledgeable in that field. I'm just saying what the artists draw, okay? Now let's see. You can instruct Indio otherwise for this one. I don't need to instruct him. He can do what he wants to do. I try not to get involved with the lewd drawings. But then again, when I don't get involved, they get really, 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 really wild.
Then when he does get involved, it's always Fuda. It's interesting how much he complains about it.
Who? Oh, Indio, yes.
No, you.
I don't get involved. That doesn't happen. I ask... Go figure. You use an artist who draws Fuda, they just make it on. That's just what they do. It's coincidence. Coincidence, chat. Now, weird topics aside from our weird artists who are a little bit unhinged, but their heart is in the right place. How do
I'll
you?
give you $1 to stop being chibi.
How do you? Good, not good enough. Give me the daily. I'll make it happen. Now, Chatfish. What was I gonna say? Yes, something about preserving things, but not milk. Nope. I hate this. It's right when you forget. It's on the tip of your tongue. Oh yes. What methods do you think would make a good compromise? And I'm gonna lead the conversation here because I know you. Just like, Chat think that they should just give it to Chat. They should just give it. Sometimes it doesn't work that way. Welcome to Stream Room on.
Hello.
But I think that there are solutions to the problem. The big ones being having studios like Night Dive Studios do things like that where they resurrect games. Maybe a studio dedicated to hosting online services. Maybe GOG getting more resources from CD Projekt Red could be a excellent head start to actually find a way to preserve these games. Call me a bit of a radical extremist when it comes to preservation, Chat, but I think GOG could do it. If CDPR would actually give them a crumb of resources. God, GP Earth is cursed. Look, don't look at me, okay? I didn't make it. You guys did this. And so did Bond. She made it. You know what I mean? I forget that this button even exists. I even forgot it was on. I'm not even looking at it. Oh, God. Don't look at it. Don't look at it.
Now, Kibbs, look at it and make an upset face, and understand how we feel.
No. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing it. No, not gonna happen. Also, you didn't finish the super? Fuck! God damn it! Let's see. I am Celeste. Instruct India. You can instruct India otherwise. Some special Earth treatment. Earth is just as lovely as all the waifus, Chat. She should be treated with grace and dignity.
Shame she's dumb as a brick.
Damn. That's so... Oh my God, what's that?
And as Morty likes to keep telling Chat, yes, please like the stream.
That's true. Don't forget to like the stream. Now, does anybody say anything in response to that? Or did I have the only good idea, Chat? Is that what you're saying? Are you saying that none of you can come up with a better idea? Does that mean that I am a genius? Is that what you're trying to say, Chat? Is that what the message you're trying to deliver here, Chat?
Mateus says
am the savior.
Third-party online servers for slightly competitive retro games.
Yeah.
Someone says something, Kip is like, are you saying I'm a genius? Then the fucking Django Unchained meme? No. That's not what I said.
That's not what I said. God damn
Also, every time the little clip for Dune shows up on this, the ornithopters in it hurt me.
What, this one?
Yeah.
I think it looks cool. That looks cool.
I'm talking about the thopters. Those.
The little flappy birds. Listen, the art. I think the newest interpretation is the best. But yeah. Oh my God. Those little fucking burbs. Oh my God, adorable. You're Kibbs. You're a genius. Thank you, chat. Let me just put this medal on myself real quick. Another one right there and there. Perfection. Well, you know the drill. Dumps down, unsubscribe, and commit corporate douchebaggery. Corporate douchebaggery. Firstly, the last time I accepted a sponsorship, I had to tell the sponsor that I wasn't going to say anything nice about it in advance. I'm like, listen. And you know what? I'm going to, highlight props to Stardock being the only sponsor who ever said that was cool. Every other one, like Ubisoft, when they begged me to remove my review, that was funny.
Well then, in that case, Grumpy, thanks to Grumpy's generous choice to put Jano's donation towards it, Free Beano has been funded.
Damn,
Wow.
I was wanting to cancel it before it was finished.
It would have been funny to deny Beano one good thing, wouldn't it? And what was I saying?
It would.
How you're usually wrong and Chad is the greatest.
Something about me being right. Something about me being a savior, like Christ for gaming. Yes. I'm kidding.
So we're gonna nail you to a cross?
No.
Kill
No.
you?
Why, they hated him for he spoke the truth. Screams. It looks like Princess of Mowers. What are you talking about? Gibbs is delusional again? Wrong. But Albine should stay on his cage. True. Yep. Unsubscribe, co-produce.
I mean, look at that. 2 wins in a row.
I actually forgot what I was talking about. Oh my god.
I know.
I'm trying to like retrace my steps, but Chumba keeps like never adding to the commentary, but always like detracting from it. Now he's gonna take it literally, and I hope that hurts. Twist the knife in there. He's like, and it falls over.
Okay.
Yeah, see, now he knows. Good boy. Suffer. Art for chat is always good. That is true. It's fine. He will rise again. Dear God, those facial expressions while chibi. I don't know what you're talking about. What facial expressions? I don't know how emotive this thing is, because if I look at it, it would be probably for the worst. Let's not look at it.
Do it, Gibbs.
Let's not look at it.
Look
anymore.
at it.
No. Looking at chat. Chat's on my right-hand monitor. There's other chat over there, but other chat's normally quiet. Normally very secretive type. You know what I'm saying?
Rumble chat's dead.
Rumble chat's always dead. Or did I forget to schedule it?
It's the Rumble chat doesn't even exist.
Yeah,
Whoops.
because it wasn't scheduled.
Yeah.
I forgot to put it on. Oh,
He told you
man.
that before
I
you
did.
tried to start, and you're like, "No, it's fine." Meh.
These
I
things
remember
happen.
this. And now I'm throwing you under the bus because it's funny.
Yeah.
I don't know, Harlot. You're getting dangerously close to funding it yourself.
What? Here's close to funding what?
Freebino.
Freebino?
He was the one donating towards it.
Why would you do that?
Stir her on Twitch says, shh, be very, very quiet.
You have a monitor in your hand? No. On my right-hand side of my desk, you monkey. I have 3 monitors. One to the left, one to the right, and the center monitor, which is what I normally look at. When I'm playing games, I look this way. When I'm looking at the other monitor, I look that way. Normally, I only go there for like Discord management or like donation stuff, and then looking at the stream stuff. Stream health and integrity is also on the right, too. I can also see the gameplay footage if it like freezes or something. That's how I organize these things. But yes, one last time, because more people have drifted in. Stop Killing Games is a movement that is good. I just don't like the government. But it's a good movement. And you should support it by clicking the little button. Click, click, click. If you're European. If you're not European, a gift effect. Hopefully, there will be more movements to save more games. But again, the 2 best ways I conceive of right now is, yet again, or 3 ways, is either community-based things like Return of Reckoning, cncnet.org, Skylords, or, for example, My Abandonware. These are community-based things for passionate people who are passionate about old games and passionate about dead games, whether live service or single player. Industry method, the industry solution is to basically just let them do it and turn a blind eye to it so they don't have to sue them. And it's basically a gentleman's agreement. And the other industry method is basically Night Dive Studios, which is like a company that's literal job is to resurrect old games and make them playable again. And the other and last line of defense the industry has at the moment is the GOG method, which is basically dreamlist a game. Put it on the dream list. Upvote it. Tell your friends. Tell me. Tell your mom. Tell your dad. Tell your cousins. Tell your brothers and sisters about a game. I really want Battle for Middle-earth to be on GOG. And then click this little button right here. And odds are, the higher it goes, the more the GOG team will work on negotiating with the parties that own the game.
Because what GOG is going to do is they're going to show the companies, this is how many people specifically want this game on GOG. So they can show them, like, hey, here are some actual, like, tangible numbers for, like, potential sales.
And then when they do add it, I do encourage you to buy it. Here's why. In order for people to, in the industry, to get the message, you need to, if you upvote one of these games, don't upvote Battle for Middle if you're not going to play it. I appreciate the
Upvote
idea.
games you actually want to play
Yes.
and buy.
Upvote something you will buy. If you don't like RTSs, don't upvote this. This isn't for you. I'm upvoting this. Well, I've already upvoted this. I have to log into my account. I'm logged out at the moment. But I've already upvoted this in the anthology. I think I did. I'll have to check the anthology. It's only 2.6K. So maybe I didn't. Either way. And the reason why is because that way when they do release these things, buy them. Every time when they released Dino Crisis, I didn't upvote it, but you know what I did? It was on sale for dirt cheap, and I had free spending money, and I decided to buy it. You know? Should I tell chat to do that? Am I sabotaging myself by doing that? Yeah, I live off your free spending money, so obviously, you know, your kib budget should be allocated safely into a little pocket, right? Right? Now listen, I got mouths to feed, chat. And some of them have cats to feed. Certain Indios.
So many cats.
Yeah.
Burford gifted 5 memberships, and he is saying that he's trying to hit Boulder, which does activate the bounty on Boulder.
Ooh. Boulder now has a bounty for a custom bucket fishy.
Chatfish. He also says Hans choice cookie.
That's true.
What is Hansy Pansy's choice?
He literally just waddled away.
Good. Then you get to choose what Hans's choice is.
No, he'll be back.
And we will inform him what he has chosen.
As funny as that would be, I'm not doing that. God damn it. Now that I know they're hentai games, I can't just browse around in here.
If you wanted to, just tell me what you want to search for and I will look it up.
No,
Gibbs.
it's fine, it's fine. Hentai games should be in here. You know why? Hentai games deserve to be preserved.
It's still
along with
deserved,
every
yes.
game. Yes.
I just the problem with searching
wish there's
them.
a button that would filter out all lewd games. Like, no lewd stuff. And then make it so that other people can't flag things as lewd even as a joke, because sometimes they do that. Where it's like, oh, the user-generated tag for fucking, I don't know, Halo. Fucking Mpreg Simulator, I don't know. It's like, no!
They do have filters, but there's not a exclude option, looks like.
Yep. Harlot sends a membership. Thank you for the gift of membership.
In an attempt to snipe it, as he do.
An NSFW toggle? Yes. I just don't want, you know, streamer safe mode. No streamer bad games. Now, honestly, I'm of the opinion that YouTube should actually uncensor itself completely, and that children shouldn't be allowed on YouTube. Or if they do use YouTube, there should be a child corner called the You Get Nothing Cool corner. You get nothing cool corner. You can imagine all the cool stuff you're going to get when you become an adult. But for now, you're in that little box. You're in the little... But whatever. Sleazy donates $10, says, I got so much hate for defending this from Pirate Software if it stands. Pirate Software stands? What?
Pirate Software is a company that's been actively trying to kill.
No.
Pirating is going to stop?
No. It is technically talking about another content creator.
Oh, that's the one, the drama dude. Yeah,
yes,
whatever.
that guy.
Don't care about
Pirate
him.
Software is actually a game dev. Hands.
I don't know. Well, I don't know that. I don't care.
Sure, but
Hold on.
like,
Moving on.
It is.
Can I borrow your chat, lol? No, you can't. My chatfish are mine and mine alone. My little chatfish. Now, more importantly, chatfish. What was I going to tell you about? Oh, and thank you for the donation. And Harley gives the farce of July. An angry British person who's mad that 4th of July is coming up, chat, gives us a membership. Thank you for the gift of membership. Very generous. Continue to cope and seethe about our independence. You little imperial dog. Get it? Because he's British. It's funny. I was going to say something. Ruman George gives some membership as well. Thank you very much, good sir, for the generous gifted membership. Don't forget that's your first time gifted membership to go to the Discord server and get your rank. Yes. Go join the Discord, link in the description, and post in the comments and at Rapier and let him know you would like your rank, which will give you permanent lifetime access to the Chamber of Secrets.
Also, Rumen George, I need to know if that was in USD or what currency it was, so I can track it.
And welcome to the stream. You now belong to me. Congratulations. You've been conscripted to be a bucket fish. He's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Sets him in his little bucket. All the other little fish look at him like, you can't leave now, boy. It's like crabs in a bucket, but
Just
fish
stuffs
in
him
a
in. He doesn't quite fit yet.
bucket.
He has to fully transform into the chatfish. Right now, he's just little
What
lemon.
the fuck? They start off as people and they like transform.
Yeah,
It's like,
that's one of the ways
"Ah."
chatfish reproduce, Kibbs. They convert other things into chatfish.
This reminds me of that cursed, awful meme that was trending of the fucking like moon comes out and the guy transforms into a diaper.
What?
Yep.
I feel like this was a dream.
It's
Gibbs
not
had.
a dream, it's real. I've seen it and it was cursed to be shown to me, and now I'm telling it to you so you have it in your head. As the moon touches him, his hands turn to like little diaper straps, and then he just turns into a little diaper. It's terrible. I'm melting. I'm melting. I'm telling you, some people draw the weirdest cursed shit you've ever seen.
It's again.
What?
This
Yes.
is a dream of Gibbs.
It's real. Just ask Boog about it. Just ask him.
I'm
He's
not
the one
doing
who
that.
posted it. Ugh, gross. Bleh. Bleh. Not good.
So then in this dream, does Aerith put on the diaper? Was that how
What?
it goes?
There's no dream, you weirdo. I'm just describing to you an actual art piece. It's terrible. It's cursed. It's awful. And I'm happy that multiple people said what in a row. What?
Also, Jano, I'm not a cat.
It's not a wild imagination. It's literally like memory of what I've seen. It exists. It's terrifying. And you should be terrified. What the hell are you watching? Wait, no, I didn't watch shit. I had it sent to me with no context. So I was in for a surprise, whether I wanted it or not. And Boog will burn for what he's done. I like how when people mistype Kibbs, they type kids. It's kind of funny. Kind of weird. Kids. Like, hey, kids. One day, when the stars are right, we will rise and take the cheeks. The chatfish will become powerful. True? Powerfish. Everybody loves a good chatfish. It's like Ghost fighting Orange Hulk because his mom was called a hoe. What? I have no clue what the context of that is. Autocorrect is a pain. Yeah, it happens. I know. How do you do, fellow kids? Start using Zoomer lingo. The worst part is I work with Zoomers on our dev team, and their lingo is infectious. I'm actively trying to resist their dumb terminology.
Infectious, he says, and yet it's only Kibbs that it infects.
Chat soon he'll just
It's
randomly
the
sing
Sigma.
skibidi.
I don't do that yet.
Something about Goon Cave.
The goon cave of the great Rizzler. I'm not fit to be in his goon. Even
I'm not gonna lie. As much as I hated that fucking edit, it was funny as shit.
even oiled up, I'm not fit for his goon stare.
No bull squad, move out.
Oh my god, that's terrible. Robin balances out the Zoomers. Oh yes, we've got a new artist on the team, and she did a fantastic work. You know what? Because you guys donated so much, I'm going to show you one of the new artists who joined the team's work is. As an early sneak squeak. Oh wow, she did another one?
Squeaky
Or
weak,
no,
if
Carlos
you
is helping. Okay. I'm not going to show that one. I'll show this one. That way, because that one might be later. All right, so we have a new
will. Chat,
artist
that's
on the
the
team.
correct reaction to have. Just hearing that and then saying, what?
So this is our new artist. They joined the team. They were working on a spell for the spells for Terrestria at war. And yeah, his new artist. Like, just because we have so happen to be picking up a lot of female artists doesn't mean they're available, damn it. Some of them are spoken for. Some of them are.
Yeah.
Like
India.
we're not a dating service, Blake. But god damn it. God damn it. Battle Damage Studios dating service when. But yes. And this is some of her this is like a quick sketch they did. And it looks well, she did. It looks absolutely splendid. Does it? Glorious. I'm very, very excited. She'll be doing the spell card art and a lot more. Now that's why we got to raise donos, chat, because this ain't cheap. So
You want to say which spell that is?
keep them coming. This spell is Syra's Judgment. It's not Syra's Gaze. It's the bigger version. It's the one that affects armies. It's a war spell.
Yeah, she already looked at them and decided that they were found wanting.
She's like, cringe.
BDS equals battle dating services.
Battle dating services. Nice. So it is a dating service? Oh my god.
Was so happy about another grill.
She has yet to, I think, make that realization, but Bonnell did. They even bonded over weird Zoomerisms. I love my dev team, but they're so special. They're our team.
As dumb and retarded as they are.
But very skilled. And so yes, you can expect more art to be coming. Also, I made an error the other day. If you want to show fish, and this is my bad. Oh, all Kib's choice will go to correcting the error, by the way, from this point forward.
It's already fixed.
Oh, you already did?
The Vulpus donated to fix it.
Bulbous, you
He
didn't have to
paid
do
for-
that.
He paid with his Patreon subscription that he just updated. He paid for what was left for Genghis, Green Branch, and started a fund for Morty.
Damn. I didn't even have the cash out on my table here. I literally
I'll
went and
take
got
it.
it. Oh, no. I went and got it out of the Christmas money I saved.
I accept donations.
I was going to actually take the burden myself. I'm sad. Well, thank
And
you,
before
Bulbous.
Chad asks, no, you'll
I
get
was
nothing in
wondering
return.
what he meant by that. But yes, if you want a show Chatfish, they're not 30, they're 60. I forgot. The reason why is because she works slower, and she's a little snowflake. What can I say? Well, a little goblin flake, if you will. I'll accept it. What are you talking about? Don't think so.
Also, I'm immensely amused with the chibi version and the shoulder pads.
Yeah, so my intention was to pay for that mistake and not actually charge them more. I was going to handle it myself by just taking it from my money.
Well, Vulpus wanted to do it.
Okay, well, I mean, I appreciate that. But you didn't need to tell him that because I was going to take care
I
of
didn't
it.
tell him that.
I was
He
just
did it
going
of
to
his own
mention it
accord.
on this stream. Now I can't look benevolent. You know what I look like? I look like a fool. A fool!
Good.
I hate to break this to you.
What?
You already looked like it.
Well, mean. All right, Chatfish. I think we've talked about all the things about video game preservation. I urge you to consider being a preservationist like myself. Okay, it's not a political ideology. It's just a video game thing. It's a completely normal stance to have. Preserve our video games. Make it so that we can play all video games. One day I want it so that I won't need to have my PlayStation 2 or PlayStation 1 here or in 64. Yes, there's emulation. But make it so that the industry adopts methods that can allow us to play these normally. And fine, as if there's no difference.
Well, haul it now. You can get one.
Yes, they're now available. Because, okay, so I can explain the reason why show slots are available. Show finished the castle piece, which I will show you in just a second. The castle piece was an art piece that was very, very, very difficult for her to do. It was. But she managed to do it anyways, and she was able to overcome it. You'll even see that the top of it, at the top center of my screen, is called The Castle, because it became such a big deal for Show that when she finished this art piece, she wanted to grow her skills more on the team. She's a fantastic artist and does really good oil painting and has a great understanding of color. Very nice. Her color work is actually spectacular. But she's got to work on like scenes and environmentals, which are a bit difficult. She wants to go do an art study to help expand her skill set so she can help the dev team more. And I was like, that's cool. That means she can't take any more big pieces like this. It would just take too long to produce, which is fine. And so I came up with an idea to help raise money for her thing, while also keeping the studio funded so she's constantly working and producing money for not only us, but for herself, while also going to that study. And that was to open her up for Chatfish slots. so that people can get Chatfish from her. That way, the studio profits, she profits, and she can produce those art pieces that aren't stressful. Chatfish are way, way simpler than this art piece. The architecture
what's
alone
funny?
was the difficult part. What?
I asked Show a few days ago, like, oh, could I maybe get a Chatfish? And she started giving me all these hoops to jump through to get one, and now it's just, oh yeah, you can just buy them.
Damn.
I told her, she immediately felt bad because she's like, but I told people to hoops. And I'm like, don't worry about it. Let me worry about blank. That literal line from Futurama. I have become that. Don't you worry about blank. Let me worry about blank. And you know what we did? We solved blank today. I thought that was funny. I don't know. That memory stuck in my mind when I was explaining to her why she needed to calm down. Because she got panicked. He was like, but I said we can't. And it's like, it's fine. We can do it. Like, things change. It's okay for things to change. Cooper. Not everything is set in stone. What? Todd donates $5 and says, speaking of show, Kibbs, there's Discord emote is waiting in the Discord emoji suggestions. Hashtag sandwich, hashtag SF, hashtag Kibbs choice. Thank you for the nation. Very generous. Very much.
And that does remind me, I suppose we should let Hans know that he has $25 to allocate to something.
Do I?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You have a choice. Yes. Yeah. I fixed.
That's nice.
All right.
I'm finishing something.
We've now wrapped up the logistics part of the stream. We're now going to raid into the next stream because have I mentioned everything? I think I've gone through everything at least twice now to be on the safe side. I was a little bit paranoid I missed something.
I believe everything's been gone over.
Yep.
As he sits there.
Okay, no, I was just thinking. I'm just going in my mind because this was only meant to be about a 2-hour stream, and we're reaching the 1 hour and 2 hour mark.
I mean, I can make some announcements for chat.
Okay, well, we can go through the announcements. I'm just setting up the raid.
So, the Helldivers 2 thumbnail is currently being funded. You can buy onto it. It's one of the automaton themed chat. There's a comm slot for Morty that Vulpus has started, if you want to help out that. Another art slot being Men of Terrestrial, because Polly wants to have the, male characters from Terrestrial actually get some art for themselves for once. Shikari Leto, there's a fund to get him a Chatfish. And the Killzone Aerith outfit is funding has started for it, and we're slowly getting there. We're almost to a fourth of the way through it. And just because it'll upset Kibbs, don't forget about the skirt fund, because that has slowed a bit, and it's very close to being finished.
I can't believe Kibbs isn't saying thank you.
And Polly says men deserve to be noticed. Sturmred also wants to remind chat that there is the Rat Fear Fund, which we can forget about. That doesn't have to happen.
Well, yes, there is a Rapier Fund. Don't forget, Rapier's name can be violently and brutally twisted.
The Chumba name lasts till Friday.
And Menacumen donates $5 says, I'm a person with extremely normal beliefs and a chill part of a normal online community, and I refuse to give up the names of my co-conspirators. Our community is quite based, isn't it? Animate. Yes, I'm glad you agree.
Well, you read his donation, but not mine.
What? You donated?
On PayPal.
God, how am I supposed to know you did that?
You should have just known.
That's the fun part.
You don't. Yeah, exactly. There's no notification system for PayPal. I mean, there is. It sends an email, but
it's called email. Yeah.
Yeah. What is this fucking lie? I don't receive notification. You don't have your email open.
Yes. Tomorrow I need to go to the store and get more buffalo sauce for the chicken dip I was going to make. I dropped the bottle this morning because I placed it on top of the refrigerator and then it shattered into 1,000 little pieces. And I didn't cut my feet this time. And that's the second time that's happened. And I need to stop putting stuff up there. So I need to put a little sticky note at the top of the fridge that says, don't put stuff on me. Because I just came to. Now I have to go to the grocery store again.
CZK. That's a new currency we don't have
Hope I
on the
skipped up all
list.
the class.
That's
Pretty sure I got it.
Question mark? I would assume that's Czech.
I would guess, yeah.
CZK? That's Bohemian.
Bohemian.
Czech. Bohemia. Bohemia,
Yeah,
Czech
I
Republic.
said Czech. I was right.
Yeah.
Bohemians belong to me. Right, Rumen? Yeah, you're Bohemian. You belong to me. You're that tiny little country where
Yes.
all the people there belong to me.
Just need to know,
People
Ruben,
belong to
the amount
me.
because it's not the same across currencies.
Little Bohemians.
Because YouTube is special.
Yeah, it's really dumb. It makes us have to basically keep track of this person pays in this currency, this person pays in this currency.
Okay. Handsy Pansy donates 110 USD. Very generous donation.
I'll let you edit, Hands.
He says 50 as agreed. And 60 for a show Chatfish. It's funny. Despite the price of them, they're still piling up there. And show's been like, in my DMs, like, help! I'm like, they're not that hard to draw. You'll see. Just ask Indio. And then she looked at Indios and said, but Indios is so complicated. And I'm like, well, you don't have to make them as complicated as Indios. Jesus.
Look at Beano's.
Beanos are creepy. Demonic.
So what's the 54?
Yeah, I don't know what
Remember? You said
No.
for the 4th of July banner, it was 50 to get on it. And I told you I would give you 50 this week.
You're on the banner. Yeah. Oh, yeah, the 4th of July thumbnail. It's ready to rock. I gotta pull it up.
Uh-oh.
So that's why the 50 didn't go to anything else, because it was as agreed.
Why did you say uh-oh?
He's marked as a pocket fish.
It's fine. He doesn't look like a pocket fish.
Who did it? I will bully them.
Or is it channel?
I'll take the blame.
Death to Haynes.
But I want to bully the artists.
Where did Bino
That's-
post
Bino.
this?
It's a YouTube art. It's not done yet.
Oh, it isn't? I thought it was.
No, he hasn't done shading.
Oh,
This
okay.
is flat colors.
He doesn't look like a pocket fish. He's about normal size.
Bino did it right.
Sturmat's a pocket fish. Like, look at him. He's a little guy.
That's because Sturmat. No, Sturmat wasn't supposed to be.
Now, by the way, this was asked if we would do a second 4th of July thumbnail. We can do a second 4th of July thumbnail and do a second 4th of July stream after the 4th of July. I will do that, but you have to fund it. It's just the standard rate, nothing special. So if you would like to be on another 4th of July thumbnail, making Bino draw even more patriotism, which is funny because he criticized America, so we made him do this.
Wait a second.
What?
I don't see Sturmat listed for the thumbnail.
No, he paid as a pocket fish.
Okay.
So do I put myself on the people who bought Chatfish? Or is that all artists' things?
Huh? What?
Eh? Oh,
Oh, don't
Chatfish
no,
artist.
don't touch that. Don't touch the
That's
2025
what I'm
Chatfish.
saying. I'm
That's
saying-
just for the artists for
Right.
tracking stuff.
Okay.
Sounds like another. Oh, 4th of July man mad. 4th of July man mad. Don't be mad, harlot. Even you're on the thumbnail. I'm not sure who the little horse thing that's sweating is, though.
That's Czar's. That's
Oh.
Czar's horse.
His own
Czar's
horse
shooting
stick
at it.
horse. That's so goddamn goofy. I like how Jimmy Stibbingies became literally a fucking firework. That's so great. Yes, Bino did a good job on this. It's not done.
I like
It'll
how
be ready
Gregor's is an abomination.
I've got food prepared, so I'm ready to cook, and we'll have a little bit of a not
I
a
just went to
drunk
Jimmy
stream, but a
John's.
social drunk stream for you. Yeah, and
Yeah, I just went to Jimmy John's and bought like a extra large like sandwich. Ate half of it this morning. and I'll eat half of it for dinner.
Yep, that's normally what I do if I go to a sandwich place. I get like a big sandwich, and then I take one half, eat it, and then put the other in the fridge.
Because it's like, sure, it's like $20 or close to it, thereabouts, but it's covering 2 meals.
What do I mean, Abomination? Kids, look at Gregor's in that art
Where's Gregor's? Oh my god,
on
he
the
is.
left. Besides Ragnarok.
Yeah, that's pretty. What the fuck? What the fuck? The Chatfish look
I like
happy.
how Ghost's dog is eating Green Branch's hot dog.
There's a lot of details. What I love about these pieces is the little stories that's unfolding in it. But yeah, so I think we've definitely well past moved out of the stop killing game stuff, but I hope this raised enough awareness about the subject, and, well, most of you guys already know that I'm a huge video game preservationist, so this isn't nothing new you haven't heard me complain about before, but hopefully we'll see some positive changes. Either way, speaking of video game preservation, we will be raiding into System Shock 2, which is a game made by Night Dive Studios. Well, enhanced by Night
Remastered.
Dive Studios, yes. Made by Looking Glass, who are long since departed. God bless their souls.
Sorry, I'm just remembering something regarding Looking Glass Studio. It's just a fucking dumb meme, that's all it's...
I'm gonna kill you. Now, we'll
No,
see you.
yeah.
You want to say what it is, or
No, it's literally just a joke where it's like, imagine giving birth. That's only half the pain of an immersion sim fan. All the other fucking studios that have made it have died. That's literally it.
that's
It
true.
just reminded me of it.
Immersive sim games studios usually don't survive. It's a sad, sad reality. But we're gonna be playing System Shock 2 with hands in a little bit. See you in the next stream in about 5 minutes. Goodbye, chat.
See you.
Bang.